Hi guys, it's going to be a bit of a different video today. It's going to be very political.
President Trump tweeted this last night saying he'd easily win with legal votes cast and claiming observers were not allowed to do their job. That tweet was flagged for being misleading.
This is going to be a very different kind of video. It's political, so if it's not your cup of tea, I understand. Feel free to click off. But I implore every American watching this especially to please just hang in there and listen, because I'm going to try and be fair. No, I don't live in the US. I live in the UK. You don't have to listen to me. But please try and take it from an outsider looking in, watching your country over the last couple of weeks, especially with the election going on. Well, I've been watching you for like the last 4 years since Trump got into power. And not a Trump hater, just want to point that out now, not a Trump hater.
You are fake news.
I'm going to be talking about something that's made me quite angry, especially this morning when I was watching videos on my news feed and stuff like that. And I'm mad. I don't even live in the US, so if you do live in the US and are watching this, you must be furious. And if you're not, why are you not furious? Regardless who you voted for, regardless whether that's Trump, Biden, any other candidate, you should be outraged. Your president and several members of the Senate are pushing this baseless allegation. There's no evidence whatsoever for voter fraud, and your president is spewing it as if it's fact. The media are spewing it as if it's fact. This is ridiculous. One thing I want to point out, it's key that what I said, it's without evidence. If the administration had proof, if a senator had proof that there is widespread voter fraud, the majority of the American public and the world would be like, okay, back it up, bring it to us, show us. For the sake of democracy, that's what you should do. But they just started talking about it as if it was true. Trump's Twitter account has been a vocal point for these baseless allegations, which is no surprise because he did this back in 2016, just before election night with Hillary. He was saying this as well, just in case he lost, so he could do this. But it's different this time because he's already the president. His word carries merit. His word carries everything. When his base hear this from him, they believe it without question, and nothing will convince them otherwise unless Trump comes out himself, says he was wrong, which he's incapable of doing. I think that has become abundantly clear. But let's be fair, I'm not mad about Trump, for once. I'm not mad about what he's saying, because I am, it is part of it, but I'm not mad at Trump. I'm mad about America. I'm mad at the American people and how they are handling it. Right-wing puppets like Sean Hannity or Lou Dobbs are dishing out the voter fraud stuff as if it was true.
Many are trying to steal this election from President Trump. There is no doubt about it.
The real point is that fraud took place, and that should horrify us. I can factually tell you tonight, it will be impossible to ever know the true, fair, accurate election results. That's a fact.
There's simply no way Joe Biden was legitimately elected president. It just can't believe it.
They are saying it as if it was fact. And again, their viewers are going to believe it. They're not saying potential, alleged. They are saying it's true. It's a fact. It's not a fact. A fact is something that has been proven to be true over and over and over again. Do not state something this serious as true without evidence. Senators like Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz are publicly backing this nonsense as well.
Falling in line, key Republicans get behind President Trump and his claims without evidence of widespread voter fraud.
The president has every right to look into allegations and to request recounts under the law.
I'm going to stand with President Trump. If a Democrat were doing this, it'd be cheered on, and we're not going to let the media intimidate us.
The Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, just told reporters that he basically does not trust the election results either.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration.
Overnight, Attorney General William Barr in a Justice Department memo authorizing U.S. attorneys to pursue substantial allegations of voting irregularities if they find them.
If they were pushing for a recount, that'd be normal. If they were supporting the idea that Americans' elections were fair, but there might be some inconsistencies, and they need to look into it, fine. No problem. But they're not. They're taking Trump's word for it, even though 3 judges so far that I'm aware of have thrown out Trump's cases saying you've got no evidence for this, you've got no basis. When is this going to end? They are supporting the idea that Americans' elections are rigged and illegitimate, despite Trump saying the same nonsense in 2016. And he won that election, so was that illegitimate? Was that fraud as well? Because what's the difference? Oh, that's right. The outcome was the difference. They are so desperate to hang on to power that they are going to destroy the democracy they claim to love. This is a problem. If Democrats did this, I've heard some opinions saying, oh, if Democrats did this, that would be fine. Even Lindsey Graham was saying if the Democrats did this, people would ignore it, let them push on, whatever, they'd cheer it on. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. That is I don't even have words for it because it's just such a big fat lie. It's just such a lie, and he just uses it to justify him breaking his oath when he went into the Senate. It's not just the right that has caused the divide and the mistrust in the electoral system, in the justice system, in just how America runs. It's not just the right. The left have to acknowledge their part in this as well. They have helped cause this reality. From the moment that Trump won the election, there were protests. Jokes were made about him on telly. They haven't stopped. Over the last 4 years, they haven't stopped. Now, I understand this. I really, really do. 4 years of constantly making fun of someone or something and then enforcing the belief that Trump's base are nothing but a bunch of idiots, it will take its toll. If you are constantly talking to someone and telling them they're stupid, making fun of how they talk, making fun of their mannerisms, making fun of what they do, and then putting that on someone who supports them as well, you're going to make that person feel like a right moron, and they're just going to get mad about it, and they are going to push and rebel. Even if what you say is true, they're not going to believe it because you've just spouted shit at them for the last 4 years. The left have helped create this divide between the views of the American people to the point that you lot can no longer have a reasonable, calm discussion about differing opinions. Now, President Trump is a bully. I'm going to get that right now. He's a bully and he cannot take criticism. This is quite painfully obvious, but that doesn't mean you have to stoop down to his level. Whether you vote for him or not, you allowed him to create this narrative. He created the gap. He's created the window of opportunity to say this crap. And then both left and right have just made it wider. To the point where you're now screaming at each other instead of coming together and talking. This is embarrassing. This is an embarrassment for your country. Whether you like Trump or not, you should not stand for this. Not all Trump supporters are idiots. Not all of them. Not all Democrats are idiots. Some are on both sides. You can say that about every group in the world. Most Trump supporters voted for him because they thought, this is the man that's going to better lead my country. This is the man that's going to do better for me and my family, my community, all that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Or even if it wasn't, they just didn't want Biden. Maybe they didn't want Trump either. They just didn't want Biden. Who knows? It's regardless who you voted for. Stop letting politics drive you so far apart because it's embarrassing. Actually, no, this is embarrassing.
The media said Joe Biden's president. Ha 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 ha.
Really? You're going to listen to a nutter? He's insane. Like, this was creepy to me. Him doing that made me physically uncomfortable. Rudy Giuliani was just as bad.
Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was speaking when he was told the election had been called for Biden.
What was it called by? Oh my goodness, all the networks. Wow. All the networks.
The media do call the election. They don't decide the election. They just tell you what the projected results are. They're right. Whether you like it or not, Mr. Giuliani, Mr. Trump, I implore the American people to come together, defend your democracy, say enough is enough to the American people, regardless who you support. Respect each other again. You need to do that. Respect the system for which you have all put your faith in for centuries, since the founding of your nation. Please stop dividing yourselves based on who you like in office. Support each other, listen to each other, find common ground. Because no matter who you put in office, no matter who you elect, let's be honest, the only thing that we have in this life is each other. And that sounds horribly cliche. It sounds like a horrible movie moment, horrible quote. It's still true. Your senator's not going to be looking after you. Your president's not going to be looking after you. Your priest is. Your teachers are going to look after your kids. Your community leaders. Your neighborhood watchers. Your neighbors. These are the people you have to live with. These are the people that you are going to need support from, and you should want to support them back. But instead, you've got groups of people that just hate the street next door because they put a particular sign out front saying Biden-Harris or Trump-Pence. You have done this to yourself, America. You can blame Trump all you want, and don't get me wrong, he was a catalyst for this. He was. But you have done this to yourselves. Both sides. The world thinks so poorly of America right now. So poorly. Because of the behaviour that you've all been guilty of. Criticise your officials, yes, of course. Call out the baseless lies of your officials and of people. Don't demean them. Stick to facts, stick to figures. Convince people in a way that is appropriate. You should always criticise the people in power. Especially when they do something seriously wrong or they say some outlandish lies. Final thought is, again, whether you're on the left or the right side of politics, whether you're independent, whether you don't care, it's your fault. It is completely and utterly your fault. Do better, America. Do better.